You as an adult and a repeater want to avoid experiencing stress and high blood pressure. Repeaters and adult CXC or CSEC students, I need you all to hear me out. I know a lot of you, the learning may not always be the most fun thing, and I've seen from my personal experience a lot of people like to join classes a month before exam. Some like to join 2 months before exams. Others like to join 3 months before exams. Now 3 months not bad, but according to the syllabus, anyone who is rewriting a subject should at least be studying for a year, especially when mathematics is concerned. Why it is adult students or even repeaters should consider not joining classes at the very 99th hour. 1, if you're working and let's say you want to write mathematics or rewrite, so you're writing for the first time or you're rewriting mathematics. Mathematics is one of the heaviest subjects. In fact, English, you will be able to complete an English syllabus faster than mathematics, right? There's so much things you have to learn, so much rules you need to know, and it takes time, right? So especially if you don't have a background in the subject, you never did the subject before, you're going to have to learn some basics as well. And well, basics such as the negatives, positives, you need to know transposition, and you need to be on top of your timetables, and there are other few things like your indices, which is also known as exponential powers. Now I'm going to share a story with you all. You as an adult and a repeater want to avoid experiencing stress and high blood pressure. Now some of you might say, what does that have to do with studies? Studies is a serious thing, right? Prevention is better than cure. Within the last, we're in 2024 still, so within the last 2 months, I'm going to give you a story of one of my former students who recently finished classes with me as an adult repeater, right? So this student started classes in good time, would have been last year, 2023, around September. Now, the student was in classes, and then around November, around there, October, November, the student will have, let's say, been MIA, missing in action, not in classes, right? Of course, when I start to see them things, I get concerned, right? Because I already know, especially when you play with maths, you don't want to do them things. For no subject, but worse yet, maths, or any subject that is more complicated. Now, the student decided to rejoin classes around February 2024. And of course, I know time is of the essence. The student missed some work. You have a lot to catch up on. So I'll do whatever I can do to assist this student. So as it draws closer to exams, I would offer crash courses, and we do some extra time with students. Now, this student was unable to join any of the crash courses, but was looking at the recordings. And I remember it was either late April this year or early May, but it was before maths exams. It was before maths paper 2, because maths paper 2 was on the 13th of May. I messaged the student to find out how the student is going, my checkup and stuff. And the student is telling me that, Miss, right now my blood pressure high. I was like, blood pressure high? How your blood pressure high? Because I have never heard anything like that from a student, right? So then the student went on to explain to me, Miss, I've been doing all-nighters for the entire month of April. I was like, what? That is what some people don't understand when they join classes late, or they start on time, they stop and then they restart, because there's so much things you have to cover. That's why you want to do yourself a favor and avoid stress, because stress could lead to you losing your mind, high blood pressure as a young person will have, encountered, or even worst case scenario, I don't want to talk about it, but it's a fact, stress could also lead to death. So this educational thing is not to be taken, oh, last minute, oh, I could finish this thing in a month. Unless it is you home and you don't have work and you're not studying anything else. If you want to study maths, I don't recommend it at all. But if you as an adult want to study maths a month before the exam, be willing to spend anywhere between 12 to probably, I would say, reasonably 12 to 16 hours a day. That means almost the whole day, and then the remainder of your time is to relax, bathe, eat and sleep. So some people don't understand. When you want to get a good grade and you want to secure your maths, don't do yourself these things, right? Now, you don't have to come at me and Top Succeeders Academy. There are many other educational institutions that offer classes, but I'm just recommending, because I've seen this over the last years, but this is the first time I've seen or had a student tell me they started experiencing high blood pressure, had to, take some days off from the studies. And because the good thing about the student though is that the student was doing a lot of revision on their own. And that's another thing last minute students don't understand, or last minute adults are repeaters. When you want to join a class last minute, you have to be doing a whole set of revision and stuff out on your own, right? In addition to attending your classes. From my personal experience, when you join a class 2, 3 or 1 month before an exam, is like you're studying in university mode. I have been in university, I know what that's like. When a subject is difficult, like from my experience, I used to have to be spending almost 10 hours a week just to get a good grade in university, and this is not university, so don't do yourself that. At least if you want to write a subject like maths, at least give yourself a year. Sometimes what I recommend to some students, we in June 2024. Some people want to write maths in January 2025. So we have about 6 months. 6 months not bad, but in addition to attending classes, you still want to, it depends on the desired grade. If you want distinction, I would recommend, as of now, probably spending about 6 hours a week in addition to attending class. If it is you want probably about 5 hours a week. If it is you want let's say a 2 or something, probably 4 hours a week, and you have to do that every week until the exams. It can't be in and out, inconsistent, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. So I just thought it's about time I make this video, because nobody not talking about it. I don't see other schools talking about it. And the last thing I want is for anybody to have to reap any repercussion or experience a result from high stress. It's deadly and dangerous. Prevention is better than cure. There's a saying in life, is either you save money or you save time, but one of them you could easily replenish, or let's say regenerate. You can lose money and get back money. Like, I can attest to that. You can lose money and get back real money, but time, you can't get back time. So don't play with time like that. And make sure and remember, your health is important. Your health, and you want to be able to do other things. So take into consideration, anytime you want to do last minute classes, there would be repercussions on you that you may not enjoy, and you may feel, okay, see me, I want to give up. So it's always best to give yourself time, especially for subjects like maths and physics, those subjects that are more on the difficult end. Now English, on the other hand, is a little bit more easier, but in all subjects there are 2 things you need to keep in mind. One of the things is you want to make sure that you know the material. I would recommend, if you want to pass a subject, you should know at least 75% of the work, for the least, from the syllabus, right? If you want to get a distinction, which I always recommend, go to the highest, go to the top of the class, right? You want to know the entire syllabus inside out. So you need to know the material, but then after you know the material, the other key is your speed. So for example, let me give you an example, right? Maths paper 2 have 10 questions, 7 in section 1 and 3 big questions in section 2. On average, each of these 10 questions have about, I would say, 3 to 5 mini questions or parts. So in other words, like 10, let me just say 10 by 5 on is around 50 questions in all in the entire paper that you have to complete in about 2 hours. 2 hours and 40 minutes unless they choose to change the time for next year goes with it. Therefore, on average, you supposed to be able to complete your exams. Like each question on average, you need to be able to complete them in a speed of about 2, some of them 3 minutes. Very rarely a 5 minutes question. I think the only question that would take about 5 minutes is a simultaneous equation question. But things like fractions, you should be able to go complete it in 2 minutes and double check. And if your speed is not up to par, you'll end up not finishing the paper on time. That's why you have to give yourself time to learn the work and give yourself time to practice enough so your speed is within the time frame and you're able to complete your exams on time. Double check, triple check to save yourself from losing unnecessary marks. I hope that this was valuable. Don't forget to like, share, and follow if you want more content like this. If you have any questions, make sure and drop it in the comments. Take care.